Welcome everybody to Law&Crime Daily. I'm Jesse Weber. He is one of the biggest names charged in a gang indictment in Atlanta, Young Thug. But he is just one of nearly 24 people charged in connection with YSL or Young Slime Life. A seventh defendant chose to take a plea deal this week that'll get him out of jail. Prosecutors say that 41-year-old Antonio Sledge was a member of YSL since 2012. He's accused of threatening a member of a rival gang, participating in a drive-by shooting, and having knowledge of at least one murder committed on behalf of the gang. The state alleges that Sledge got money from Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, to lay low for a while. Sledge is one of several defendants who chose to plead guilty instead of going to trial. Young Thug's own brother, Quantavious Grier, accepted a plea deal this week. He was sentenced to 12 years, which was commuted to 2 years of time served plus 10 years probation. Sledge, sitting on the other side of his attorney, listened to what he and the gang are accused of.
Defendant has personal knowledge that he and other members or associates of YSL have either participated in or directly committed at least one of the following crimes in order to increase the notoriety and reputation of YSL: murder, armed robbery, aggravated assault, attempted murder, theft, illegal gun possession, and illegal drug possession and sales. Mr. Sledge, how do you plead to count to the charge of conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act?
Guilty.
And how do you plead to count 30, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon previously convicted of a felony involving the use or possession of a firearm?
Guilty.
Now, because Sledge took a plea deal, there are going to be certain conditions that he has to meet in order for the court to abide by the sentencing plan that was laid out in the deal. So Sledge is required to testify in any trial that comes from this indictment, and he's not going to be allowed to invoke his Fifth Amendment right on the stand. In return, the prosecution recommended 15 years probation for the racketeering charge, with the firearm charge getting dropped. I'm here with my co-host and public defender, Brian Buckmeyer, who joins me right now. So, Brian, that's quite a serious list of offenses that the prosecution said this gang is connected to. Why only probation?
Jesse, probation seems strange for cases like this, and every defense attorney have their own theories when pleas like this are offered. The DA announced these charges, saying these men were connected to a gang that had plagued the city of Atlanta with violent crimes, that they had strong cases supported by controversial rap lyrics. But the plea deals seem too good to be true to believe all of that. If these people are so dangerous, and as promised, these cases are this strong, why the slap on the wrist? Now, don't get me wrong. Months of jail, felony probation, and a criminal felony record are not easy things to live with, but pleas like this, when people are facing mandatory 50 years in jail, always makes me think that they have weak cases and need people to testify to make them strong. Regardless, it looks like a number of people are getting pushed to trial for January 4th, but more will probably take pleas before that.
Oh, you might be right. I'm also here with my other co-host, former trial attorney Terry Austin. I got to ask, are they literally getting away with murder right now?
Oh, absolutely. No question. You know, the bigger issue here, forget the deal or no plea deal, the bigger issue here is crime has risen 60% in Atlanta. And District Attorney, Willis promised that she was going to go after this crime. And instead what we see here is a 56 count, indictment against these individuals. We have over, 20 individuals who are indicted. Why make it so complicated? Why not just go after these individuals? If there's evidence of murder and violent crime, then go after that. Make it simple. Instead, what we have is all of these people pleading out and getting a slap on the wrist. So I think the bigger issue is there's crime, and that crime is not being addressed here.
2 students in California sued their high school on the grounds of free speech after being expelled, and the U.S. Court of Appeals did not buy their argument. The Albany High School students created a private Instagram account to share, quote, funny memes that other people might not find so funny or appropriate during the 2016-2017 school year. What was actually shared on the account were hateful posts against black people, referencing monkeys and the KKK, along with other racist content. When people caught wind of the account, the students were eventually expelled. The students' argument included a Supreme Court case from last year where a cheerleader won a free speech suit after being suspended from her team for cursing on Snapchat. The Supreme Court ruled in her favor because the post didn't risk classmates' safety. But in this case, U.S. Circuit Court Judge Daniel Collins described the racist post as a, quote, ticking bomb of vicious targeted abuse that could be readily detonated by anyone following the account. Another person arguing for their First Amendment rights, a tarot card reader from Texas, who's in hot water for suggesting a University of Idaho professor is responsible for the murders of 4 students. Ashley Gillard went viral on TikTok after pointing the finger at University of Idaho professor Rebecca Schofield. The TikToker accused Schofield of being romantically linked to one of the victims and then ordering the execution of all 4 students. Schofield was cleared by police in the investigation, and she's now asking Gillard for money to cover a security system for her home after she claims the TikToker's false statements damaged her professional reputation and also might motivate someone to actually cause harm to her or her family. Just take a listen to some of the tarot reader's theories and what she has to say about the lawsuit against her.
Rebecca's motive was she had something going on with Kaylee. Whatever she had going on with Kaylee, it was fraternization, potential relationship, trying to be in a relationship with her. She was really interested in Kaylee. They may have even fraternized and spent time together at a party or something like that. The spirit said it was a teacher involved in the murders when I was doing the reading. And by spirit, I mean my inner spirit. My inner spirit that's not bound by the body. Therefore, even though my body was not there, my spirit can tap into information that my body could not have. When I go to court and they see the evidence or they see how I connect the dots, then they'll make a decision as it pertains to whether they want to continue to live in blinders or believe it. If they don't, that's I don't care.
Her body might not see it, her soul does. She sounds like Dr. Strange. Terry, Gillard's getting quite a bit of exposure from her comments. I think that's pretty clear. What are your thoughts on that?
You know, I think you have to think twice if you're in the media about even interviewing her. If her statements are false, and they seem to be, and if they are defamatory, and that seems to be the case, then do you want to give her an additional platform to make her statements? And if you actually end up giving her a platform, whether you're supporting it, whether you're fueling the flames, or whether you don't agree with her, one thing you have to do, and it's a very delicate balance, you have to make sure you ask those hard-hitting questions. So at the end of the day, the viewers can decide whether or not what she's saying is true or whether or not what she's saying is false. Frankly, if it sounds like it's outrageous, and to me, this sounds extremely outrageous, as a media outlet, I might decide I don't want to even put her on the platform, because just having her there, whether you believe her or not, is exposing what she's saying. It reminds me a little bit of the Alex Jones case, where he's making all of these statements and the media is following it. The more it's repeated, the more damaging it could possibly be. So you have to think twice before you give her a platform, whether you support that platform or whether you're trying to be even-handed.
But Brian, she's gonna lose, right? I mean, she doesn't have a defense.
I don't think so. The only defense here would be truth. And if she goes up there and somehow connects dots in a way that the jury believes that she actually truthfully believes this, or it is true, maybe there's a defense. The other argument I can think of is, this is so ridiculous, she could not possibly defame anyone. There's no one who's reasonably gonna go and listen to her statements of, oh, it's my spirit that's not within my body, but outside of my body, tapping into this. And maybe that's not defamatory, because we all know that's ridiculous. That's the only defense I can see, but otherwise, fun to watch, but I don't think she's gonna win this one.
This is a case, though, where people are literally grasping for any kind of answers, any solution to this crime, and she's getting attention. This is a unique situation, so yeah, it's a defense. I just don't think it's gonna work. Brian, Terry, pleasure as always. Thank you so much. Everyone out there, thanks for joining us here on Law&Crime Daily. We'll see you next time as we discuss justice in America.